Hey, by the way, tonight's game, New York wins that outright.
You know he's on top. Million subs, he never gonna flop. Out of Chicago, where the streets don't sleep. Betting on games, making cash real deep. Crystal ball for sports, he knows the lines. He's a sports aficionado, the money he finds. From football to basketball, he's always on point. Predicting winners never disappoints. He's got that hustle, that Chicago vibe. Making moves on the streets, cash on the side. With E, you know it's always a bet. He's the king of the game, never forget.
Hello and welcome to the Etoft21sports Show for December 30th. How's everyone doing? My name is Erik. I'm the man behind Etoft21sports. Absolutely loaded episode for you today. My boy Wade, aka Top Flight Wagers. Him and I are going to look back at Week 17 plus share Week 18 bets. And as always, Gino will have his horse racing bet of the day. But before I get all that, I'd like to say thank you to the sponsor of the show, PropX. Guys, if you're not using PropX, go to the App Store, download the app, use promo code ETOFT21. That way they know old Uncle Rico sent you. Now let's shift our attention over to Oaklawn. Loaded day of racing at Oaklawn this weekend with some Kentucky Derby points. Let's see what our boy Gino has as his horse racing bet of the day.
Saturday at Oaklawn Park, Kentucky Derby points are on the line in the Smarty Jones. It's going to go as race number 10. Thought a pretty competitive race. I mean, you can make a case for Universe, who looks super logical, Boca Beach Club, Silent Tactic could be a fair price, Rancho Santa Fe's 2 for 2. Look at Oscar's Hope is going for 3 in a row here. Strategic Risk was a really nice winner last time out. And then on the outside, Sleeping on Freedom has won 2 in a row. Horse I'm a little interested in is the 3 Boca Beach Club, who is going to be stretching out now and going long after going 5 and 5.5 for longs. It's not always the easiest to go from 5.5 all the way to a mile and 16th. But if you take a look at some of the siblings of this particular horse, you can see that a lot of them had some success going long. A horse named Promise of Spring was multiple graded stakes placed going long. And you can go through the siblings and you just see lots of horses who have that success going a little bit longer. So keep an eye on the number 3, Boca Beach Club, 4-1 on the morning line for us this week. That's going to be at Oaklawn Park on Saturday. Best of luck. Make sure to head on over to drf.com anytime you're playing the races.
Make sure to give my boy Gino a follow at It's Me, Gino B. Now let's welcome this week's special guest all the way from California. I'm in the middle of the ice storm. I've lost power at my parents' place 3 times this week. My boy Wade. Wade, how about Midwest weather, my friend?
Doing pretty good. I know my dad's out here visiting us right now. Obviously, he's from Indiana, so he's not missing the snow that's going on there either. It's pretty nice here. 70 degrees here. I know we're going to be getting hit with some rain over the next 10 days, though, so wah.
So there's branches all over my parents' yard because of the ice. We've lost power, 2 times in like 3-hour bunches a piece. It's just weather in northern Michigan, man. You gotta fucking love it, dude. You gotta love it.
I don't miss that at all, man.
It's the best in the world. This is one of the tougher weeks. That's why I love having someone like you on. You know, someone that will dive deep in the numbers. I appreciate you coming on for the tougher weeks, dude. So I appreciate it. Let's jump right into it. Let's give our takeaway from the previous week. A lot of football went on. What was the one thing you took away, my friend?
Yeah, before I start, I had to nudge Erik a little bit here. I knew I had a feeling. I actually told Mike, one of our buddies, I told him that I knew Erik was going to reach out to me about this last week and ask me to fill in. So I'm glad to do it. I know it's a tough week, not a lot of important games to talk about. But yeah, man, I think my biggest takeaway from last week, after a beautiful week, we had from between Saturday and Monday, we had a nice 8-3 run. So my members profited pretty nicely. But man, I was going to take the Bills money line. I'm glad I stayed off it because I think after watching that game and watching all the other games, I think the Bills, my biggest takeaway is that I think they're just going to fumble away possibly their best chance to win a Super Bowl or at least get to the Super Bowl with the Chiefs finally out of the picture. And the reason, I just think that they have failed miserably to put a decent wide receiver core around Josh Allen. We got Khalil Shakir, Brandon Cooks, Joshua Palmer, Tyrell Shavers, Gabe Davis, and Keon Coleman. Erik, please stop me when I name a top 50, even a top 30 wideout. I just think it's criminal what they have done to Josh. Yes, I like Cook, I like Ty Johnson, and I really think the tight ends are very solid for this roster. But I just think this is going to bite them in a big way, like it did against the Eagles. Obviously, they did find success moving the ball in the second half, but I just think clearly they need a number one alpha that he can lean on when times get tough. I think they should have brought in somebody like Adams or traded for Higgins or done something to get him a bona fide star this past offseason. And I just think they're going to squander away Allen's best years. I know you may think this wide receiver core is solid. I don't want to like crap on them because they're not like the worst bunch, but I just think with his caliber of play, he deserves to have a number one wide receiver like a Puka Nacua. Like a Jamar Chase. I know they're not easy to find, but they could have brought somebody in that could have really led this wide receiver group. What do you think about that?
The big rumor is they called about Waddle. They offered a first-round pick in this year's draft. The Dolphins scoffed and wanted a first-round pick in next year's draft because next year's draft is kind of the draft where everything's going to be. Next year's draft is way better than this draft. That's just more bluntly the way to put it. And the Bills turned them down. So the Bills had a chance to get Waddle, but they turned it down. Coleman's been a complete disappointment, has nothing on the route tree. You brought in Shakir, who is supposed to be the Diggs replacement, but he's just too small. He's an underneath guy. Yeah. Cooks, it makes him. They were going to him against the Eagles, but he's just not a number one guy anymore. Just not a number one guy anymore. What is up, my friend? I appreciate you tuning in, my boy, old man. They are bad without Kincaid. Michigan weather is awful. There was a 50-car pileup in down in Detroit. But I agree with you. If he's not going to win it this year, he's probably never going to win it. This is completely wide open for Allen to get it done. Mahomes is out. God only knows what's going to happen with the Ravens. Broncos are awful. I think the Jags are awful. I think the AFC is a complete shit show. I think this playoff season, I was talking about with someone yesterday, there's like no standout team. Like if you told me any of these teams win it, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
No, we had a discussion, and my best guess right now is Jacksonville might be able to come out of it just because their defense might be able to do something. For some reason, Lawrence and Etienne are really playing like top-notch receiver running back. Eventually they'll run into a defense that might be able to slow them down, but I don't know. The AFC is just wide open. I really don't know what's going to happen there.
My takeaway, and my boy Pete may hate this because he's from the Chi.
Uh-oh.
The Bears are having a very good season, but can we pump the brakes for a second and take a clear look at what they've actually done? I have people blowing up my phone. I have my new quote-unquote friend. She is telling me this is the year that Chicago is legit, Super Bowl contenders. And the hardest things for fans, especially the fans who bet, is stepping back and removing emotions and from the conversation. Now, look, I know people are just going to say I'm an angry Lion fan. But for the record, I bet the Lions not to make the playoffs. This isn't fandom. It's numbers. Yeah. My model has the Bears at a 9-win team. So, yes, they've overachieved. But when you dig into the metrics, the profile isn't nearly as impressive as the record suggests. 16th in DVRA, which puts them squarely in the middle of the pack. Defensively, more concerning. 21st DVOA defense, 24th against the pass, 28th in pass defense. Simply put, this is not a defense that consistently gets stops anymore. What they're doing is living off turnovers. They're plus 22 in the season. That kind of margin just isn't sustainable. Turnover aggression is real. When it hits fast. We saw it with my Lions. This year, after riding positive turnover luck throughout last season, they had more turnovers last week against the Vikings than they had all of last season. So, I mean, that the pendulum swings, and it swings fastly. Jacksonville was one of the worst teams last year in the league creating turnovers. This year, they're right up there with Chicago in terms of turnover luck. Chicago fans are excited about playing the 49ers tough. But let's slow down here, too. San Francisco is missing their best player at every level of the defense. Context matters. When we really step back, they could easily have lost to the Raiders, the Commanders, the Bengals, the Packers, and the Vikings. Profile screams bluff to me. And this is my hot take, dude. I don't think they're going to win another game this season. I think they're going to lose to the Lions. I think they're going to be out in the first round of the playoffs. And I'm all going to tell everyone right now, next year, I'm betting them under their win total and them not to make the playoffs just based on my numbers.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really
Bears to break my heart. I hear you. Like I was talking to my friend, and she already has them losing, and she's very broken up about this.
I can see it. Yeah, I think it's kind of one of the. Were the Vikings? Were they the team last year? Somebody was just like the Bears last year. They won all these one-score games.
Vikings and the Chiefs last year. Chiefs were 8-0 this year. They're 1-7 in one-score games. So the pendulum always swings. I mean, that's just the way it
always goes.
And I mean, this year.
Go
ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say, with Ben Johnson obviously coming in, it's one of those things where you see how these upbeat younger coaches, they come in. Seahawks are good. Jacksonville's good. They're obviously good. So I don't know if it's if we'll be able to sustain that, kind of like Washington. They had all that energy last year. They dropped the ball late in the season and they had a bad year. I think I feel the same, like kind of what you're saying is the Bears had they overachieved so much this year. I do think there could be some regression coming, at least next year. Maybe the year after that, they might pick it back up because I do think Johnson's a good coach. I still am not a believer in Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever will be, man. I really don't. I don't know. He's going to have to win me over.
My thing with Caleb is he turns his back so much to the field, and that eventually is going to just catch up with you.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's even now they've been banged up, and you got to give them credit. They've been insanely banged up. And injury luck happens too. I mean, look at last year. Last year, the Ravens were the luckiest team when it came to injuries. This year, they're dropping like flies. Let's go ahead. Let's go into the betting. We each have 3 bets. Those tuning in for the first time. Before we get into all that, let's go ahead. Let's take a gander back at how we did last week. Disappointing 3-3 last week with Jim hitting the Packers and Ravens over 41, but losing his teaser in the Panthers money line. Old Uncle Rico hit the Chiefs plus 13.5, the Browns plus 3.5, but lost Barkley over 80.5 rushing yards. For the season, we are 57, 42, and 3. So 3-3 last week, but overall, it's been a great year. Looking to close it out. And dude, I will be utterly honest. I have no idea. I was sitting on Marquette plus 2.5. They were up 7 with 3.5 minutes to play. They're up 73-66. Guess how many points they scored to close the game, my friend?
How many? 0.
No, 0. Like literally 0.
Yeah, that's too bad. That was on them too. That was my only play today. That kind of ruins my streak. We've been on an insane college basketball run.
Yeah, but hey, did you have Northern Colorado plus 14.5 and plus 1,000 on the money line?
I didn't take the money line, but I did take 15.5.
Dude, you gotta take that money line, my friend. Gotta put on those.
Most of the dogs that we've covered, I should play the money line. About half of them have cashed.
College basketball. Now, I'm really excited to have you on about college basketball. After NFL is going to be shifting to college basketball because I love picking your head about this. There's a couple teams I'm really high on. One of the teams I was high on coming into the season was Yale. I was on Yale yesterday.
Yeah.
I think I may have to reconsider my Yale thoughts because they got completely boat race. Granted, it was one of the better halves. Alabama. But I expected a little bit more.
No, I think that was. I'm not saying Yale was the wrong side, but that was just a tough game, tough opponent for them. I think Yale's still a pretty solid team. I like them. Obviously, I think they're going to go to the tournament, so I would ride them some more.
Let's go ahead. Let's jump into some bets. You have some player prop to start us off. What you got, my friend?
Yeah, I want to preface this by saying there's not a lot of stuff out there available yet, so I kind of went with what I liked the most and went on an angle where some of these players have some player incentives to hit. I think that does weigh into some of these games. So my first play is going to be Juwan Jennings for the San Francisco 49ers to go over 3.5 receptions. I took that. The line was minus 125 on MGM. Not a line I really like to give out. I don't really love these high juicy ones, but considering that this line was basically minus 160s, minus 170s, almost every other book, I thought there was some pretty good value just there alone. For what Juwan Jennings needs as far as bonuses, he needs 11 more receptions to reach 60 catches to get about a $600,000 bonus. And then he needs 34 receiving yards to reach 600 yards, which will add another $600,000 bonus. He has surpassed 3.5 receptions in 8 of his last 10 games. In his last home game versus Seattle last season, he actually had 10 receptions. And at home, he's cashed this in 3 of 6 this season. One game that really stood out to me was another one against one of their biggest division rivals at home. He reeled in 6 receptions on 9 targets against the Rams. This is a big game for both, and I expect the Seahawks to focus a little bit more on McCaffrey and Kittle. If he returns, I expect him to play. Seahawks have been really tough against wide receivers, but they do allow the 11th most receptions per game overall. And he's coming off back-to-back home games going under this number with just 5 and 4 targets. I like the motivation factor to win this game, and a good QB always knows that his skill players' incentives are. He needs 11, like I said, he needs 11 receptions to hit that bonus, just 34 receiving yards to reach another. I really don't know if he's going to get that key number of 11 receptions, but I do think a mixture of 4 receptions for, I don't know if he's going to go over his receiving yards. His receiving yards line's in the middle 40s right now. I think that's a pretty good look too. But I'm just going to go with the receptions. I think they're going to look to feed him. I think he can get 4 to 6 receptions here, at least cash one of these incentives, which would end up being he'll probably get the 34 yards he needs with 4, 5, 6 catches. So I like that. I think the Seahawks are looking to keep the receivers in front of them, more of them letting explosives happen. So I see more of a heavy volume at home versus him just catching 2 or 3 long plays.
I like that one. Old man chimes in. Hollywood Brown, 2 TDs and over 100 yards. That's some huge.
Yeah, but I was like, who's his quarterback? I looked at that, and it's like, I don't know if I can trust his quarterback to get him a touchdown. I don't hate that look. I really don't.
I like this one. I mean, Jennings, that X wide receiver is such a vital point of anything the 49ers like to do.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever plays that, we've seen Debo, we've seen Bourne, we've seen Pearsall, whoever's in that role, and it's going to probably be Jennings this week. My next bet, just going back to the well, Wade, my friend, I have a saying on the show, we fade Tomlin as a favorite, we take him as a dog. Historically, Tomlin as a dog covers 64%. As a home dog, the number jumps to 71%. If he's getting 3.5 or more, he's 7-2 ATS at home. Against Harbaugh specifically as a dog, he's 14-3-2. This is the kind of bet we just make long-term. It's profitable. Now let's break down the matchup. We really don't know what we're getting with Lamar. Is he going to play with his back injury? But if he does play, he hasn't been the same quarterback since the hamstring injury in week 4. Pre-injury, Jackson had 72% completion rate. Post-injury, it drops to 60%. Passing yards per game fall from 217 to 180. Yards per attempt dropped from 9.1 to 7.8. His TD to INT ratio went from 10 to 1 to 8 to 8.5 to 3. And his rushing numbers took a hit too. Yards per game went down from 41.5 to 21.5. Yards per carry, 7.9 to 4.1. EPA from 0.283 to negative 0.67. Success rate fell from 51.9% to 43%. Steelers also Brits at the 5th highest rate in the league. Since the injury, Jackson is completing only 47% of his passes under pressure, 19th worse, 19% worse than pre-injury, with a 2 to 3 TD to INT ratio and a negative 0.337 EPA per play, down 0.543 from pre-injury. Meanwhile, Ravens have done a solid job limiting the Steelers' rushing attack, but Aaron Rodgers has been excellent against man coverage this season, completing 52% of his passes, 6.2 yards per attempt with an 11 TD to 1 INT ratio and a 0.11 EPA per play. Ravens run man coverage at the 4th highest rate in the league, which favors Rodgers and the Steelers. Combine all this, the historic Tomlin factors, I am taking the Pittsburgh Steelers here, plus 3.5. Did you hear these rumors that regardless how the game goes, the Steelers may move on from Tomlin? To me, that's just mind-blowing because, like, why? Like, what? Who are you going to move to? You know what I mean? Like, he's taking dog shit players and constantly winning 9 games and getting in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think their roster construction has been great, but I think they're probably just seeing what's happening in Jacksonville and Chicago, and I think they want a young, new, fresh face in there. I don't blame them, but I don't know. I don't know if there's a better answer out there. How did anybody know what Liam Cohen was going to do when he actually turned down Jacksonville first, and then
I'll
in the
tell you
middle of
what,
the night, their owner flew in and paid him whatever the heck they paid him.
I was talking to my buddy about it. The best thing that could happen to the Steelers is there's like one of those things, if Sean Payton was suspended for a year.
Oh yeah.
Suspended for a year. They tank. They have a shitty coach. They get a top draft pick, get a better young quarterback, then Tomlin comes back. That's going to be the best thing that happens to the Steelers. Next bet, my friend, your second bet, you are going to.
I guess I'm just going to go here with Rico Dowdle for the Carolina Panthers to go over 2.5 receptions, -108 over on Novig. Found that. He needs 9 scrimmage yards to reach 1,350 total yards, which is $1 million bonus. Not really the main reason I'm taking this, as he obviously should reach 7 scrimmage yards through either the air or the ground in this matchup. But he has 3+ receptions in 2 straight games, 5 of the last 7 and 7 of his last 12. And he has 3 and 4 in his last 2 head-to-heads versus Tampa. He also has 5 and 4 receptions in 2 of his last 3 weeks on the road. So Tampa allows the 11th most receptions to running backs per game at 4.8, 6th most receptions per game overall. Dowdle sits 3rd on the team in targets at 48 with a 10.7% target share. Tampa has allowed 3 to Achane, 4 to Dowdle, 8 to Robinson, 6 to Carter, and 3 to Bam over the last 5 weeks alone. That's 5 separate players. I'm just thinking a close battled game. I like Young to keep looking Dowdle's way, coming off back-to-back games with 5 and 6 targets in a must-win game versus Tampa and Seattle. Again, in a must-win game, I just think he's going to look back to go into him. I'm not sure how much they're going to be able to run the ball against the Bucs, so I think he might scatter out of the backfield and get a few quick receptions.
No, they've never used them. Are they good paying out?
Yeah, fantastic. If you're not using Novig or Profit X, if you have access to them, you are missing out on probably the best lines in any market for the most part.
I use Profit X a lot. Next one, look, dude, I'm doing it. Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers -2.5. Now, look, I know they've lost 4 straight, haven't covered since week 8 against the Saints. But historically, teams in this position go 3-1 ATS over the last 20 years. That's a trend we can't ignore. I've been saying it for months. If the Panthers make the playoffs, they're going to have to commit to Bryce Young long-term. Then they are going to be in the same spot as the Dolphins, stuck with an undersized quarterback from Alabama who they drafted way too high. Let's look at Young's numbers on the road. He's 5-2 at home, 3-5 on the road. Another key thing, under pressure on the road. 4 to 3 TD to INT ratio, 36% completion rate. That's concerning. The Bucs blitz at the 4th highest rate in the league, and over the course of the season, Young is completing just 49% of his passes under pressure with a negative 0.27 EPA per play. That tells me he's going to struggle here. Bucs run zone 71% of the time, and Young has a 7 to 6 TD to INT ratio against zone, and also per PFF under pressure. He ranks very lowly at ball protection, meaning he's likely to fumble. On the flip side, Panthers run zone coverage at the highest rate in the league. Mayfield has been excellent against zone this season, 67% completion rated, 7.6 yards per attempt. Against this defensive staff for Carolina, so the last 3 games, he's at a 73% completion rate, 280 yards per game, 2 TDs, and he's been effective and productive. Looking at the metrics, Panthers defensively 20th DVOA, 19th against the run, 25th against the pass. The Bucs should have success here offensively in this matchup. Young also struggles on the road, 38% ATS historically. When you factor in the matchup, Young's road struggles, this lands me on the good old. Where'd you go, bud? What happened?
I had to reset for some reason my camera was like flickering, so I had to plug it in.
On the Tampa Bay Buccaneers -2.5. Sorry, dude, I was locked in, dude. I didn't know it.
Good.
So I'm doing Tampa Bay, man.
I heard you.
Excuse me. Next bet, my friend. Where are you going, buddy?
Yeah, before I start talking about the 49ers plus 2.5, if you guys are interested in these incentive plays, little bonus play I can give you. It's not a play yet. I'm currently looking at Juwan Johnson, tight end for the New Orleans Saints. He only needs 67 receiving yards to reach a 250K bonus of 800 yards. His lines just aren't out yet, but he's caught 4+ receptions in 7 straight games, 9 of the last 10, averaging 4.6 receptions on 6.1 targets. And he owns the second most targets on the team with 97. So I just think they're going to try to get him to go over 100 receiving yards, and I think they're going to try to get him that bonus. He's been one of Tyler Shuck's favorite weapons. Another little bonus is that I gave out Tyler Shuck as the offensive player of the year plus 125 over on DK. I took that like 2 days ago. So Mace will be available. I like both of these guys to finish off the year strong. But go the 49ers plus 2.5 here. I had to find something. I knew you were already on the Bucks and the Steelers. I like both those sides as well. And I think I'm just going to go with the 49ers plus 2.5 minus 116. Best line on the market right now. It's an alt line, so you'll have to alt it at whatever book. Because right now I think the lines on most books is a 1.5.
Yeah.
Like I told Erik off air, I really don't like to take a team to beat a team twice. Usually teams it's really tough to beat a team twice in the season, but as I look back in the history between these two, it has happened pretty often in years past where San Francisco has beaten Seattle twice in the same season, and I just think that San Francisco's offense matches up well against Seattle's biggest strengths here. While Seattle's defense ranks top 3 in scoring, yards per play, and third down defense, the 49ers offense is top 5 in scoring, top 5 in yards per play, and top 10 in passing, showing they can still generate efficient offense even against elite units. We saw against Chicago, 49ers just looked like they couldn't be stopped after that. Obviously, the first drive turnover. Their offense is just a well-oiled machine right now, and I'm not sure what Seattle is going to be able to do about that, especially at home. Last year, before I say that, Seattle also ranks just 22nd in rushing yards allowed, an area that San Francisco can exploit to stay on schedule and neutralize Seattle's pass rush. On the other side, Seattle's offense faces a much tougher matchup. The 49ers defense holds opponents to 22 points per game, which is 13th in the league. They rank top 10 versus the run, and they limit explosive plays, while Seattle struggles with turnovers, 31st on offense, and they rely heavily on efficiency rather than volume. I think that combination keeps this game tight. It's going to lower the separation potential and makes probably another one-score outcome. I think the 49ers can win this game outright. They need this to be obviously the number 1 seed, and if they do that, they can stay in California the entire time through the Super Bowl. I'm a Vikings fan, and I kind of want to fade Sam Darnold in the biggest moments, and this is going to be his biggest moment this season. They need to win this to get the number 1 seed. He did pretty good against the Rams last week, but I just think they're going to struggle here. I really like what Purdy's offering right now. This offense has a little bit more zhuzh to them, and I think they're going to keep it rolling here. And also, by the way, what I was going to mention earlier is they lost to Seattle last year. Same scenarios last year. They beat Seattle first game at Seattle. Later in the year, they lost to Seattle at home. I think they're going to remember that, and I think they're going to make sure they at least win this game. So I'd rather take the 2 points just in case Seattle does win this game. I think it's going to be a pretty close game.
And Seattle really does struggle covering the middle of the field. That's where Kittle and Jennings live. I think they're going to have some success moving the ball.
Nice.
Going to be on this one. Excuse me. My next play, staying in the Panthers and Bucks game, give me Mike Evans over 52.5 yards receiving. Must-win game for the Bucks here. I expect them to pound the ball and get Evans the ball. Evans involved early and often. Panthers are 23rd DVOA against wide receiver runs. They run zone coverage at the highest rate in the league historically. Evans has been elite against zone coverage. I know he's been down this season, but I really believe that's due to injury. He's fully healthy. I expect a bounce back performance here. Looking at his last 3 games against the Panthers, Evans has cleared 52.5 in 2 of 3, averaging 10 targets, 7 receptions, 82 yards per game. The Panthers defense is allowing 203.2 passing yards per game, 7.1 yards per catch this season. Excuse me. Since coming back from injury, Evans is averaging 64.7 yards per game, 9.3 targets, and 4.7 receptions per game. With the season on the line, I expect the Bucks to lean on Evans. I think he could easily clear this number of 52.5 in this matchup. I'll probably ladder it up. Give me Mike Evans over 52.5 receiving yards. God, I am struggling today, my friend. I am sorry, dude.
He had 132 yards in his last home game. If that helps you
dude,
out.
I'm telling you, man, like they're gonna pound the shit out of him here, dude. Like the Panthers back four is really bad, man. Is really, really bad.
He's been doing really good work. At least, no, this year he's been injured. But if you look at his last 10 games at home, he's went over this line in 7 of his last 10 at home. So when he's healthy, he's pretty hard to stop. I like this play too. I'm gonna take this with you right now. FanDuel -114. I love it.
This is his 4th game back. I love it here.
Yeah.
Wade, I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your schedule, coming on, talking a little shop. Those who don't know, Wade is on my podcast every single week. There's a UFC card. Obviously, we're in a little bit of a break with it going over to Paramount. Him and I have been talking. We are going to go live for one of these cards. Which card? I cannot tell you that because we're still trying to figure that out. But
the first one of the year. It's a good one. It's a good one to start.
Yeah, but is there NFL that day though? That's my question, dude.
Yeah, no, that's what we got to figure out. I thought it was the 27th, but I think I had that date wrong.
It's the 21st. There could be NFL conflict. With NFL conflict, dude, I can't do that. I need something where I'm going to be locked into, my friend.
24th? Is that what you said?
I thought there was one the 21st.
That's a Wednesday.
Oh my god, dude, how fucking bad am I?
I think it's the 24th, which is a Saturday, which I think there is probably going to be 2 football games on that day.
Yeah, it's the 24th. So, I mean, if I
play
play it out.
I think they start pay-per-view the first 2. We could do the second. I could probably work it out that we do the second pay-per-view instead of the first one.
No, wait. Oh, yeah. Wild card, divisional round. No, no, there's going to be nothing there. So we could probably go with the 24th, dude.
Really? Nice.
We could probably do the 24th. So make sure to put that on your calendar. Wade, I appreciate you coming on. Why don't you tell everyone where they can find you, and if they want to become part of your Discord, tell everyone what to do.
Yeah, come join us. We've been pretty hot in the basketball streets, as we talked about. Got a little NBA action as well tonight. Most of our main content's over on X, so just go follow us over on X. That's where I'll drop all my article plays, since you can release articles and stuff there instead of TikTok. It's in Instagram. It's hard to put articles and stuff out there. So I get free play articles to a couple of different websites. And if you want to come join us, I always offer a free 1-week trial. Come hit the link in the bio on X and come check us out.
I appreciate it, my friend. I look forward to talking to you during college basketball season and doing a live with you for UFC. Make sure to give that man a follow. We'll be back next week talking a little wild card round. Best of luck in your bets, and we will talk soon, my friend.
See you guys.
Oh, what's this? Big Ten kicking SEC, but you know what? I completely agree with that, dude. My Big Ten boys, they've been playing really hard. Do you got any college football coming up, man?
Tomorrow we are on Iowa to cover. Gave out +6.
I like Iowa plus the points and the money line in that one.
I gave out TCU +7 earlier for this game tonight. And then I think I haven't made anything official yet. I think I'm going to play Michigan the points. I think +8's a good number. Even 7.5. I'm torn on the Miami game. I'm probably going to end up playing Ohio State -9, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure I like saying with that many points. I think I'm definitely going to play Texas Tech. I've already played Georgia -6. I think Georgia's going to stop. Yeah, I think this is where
I've already played Georgia. Georgia's probably going to be the only bet I have for that one.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't hate to play every single one, but I think there are some spots in these games. So we'll see.
Make sure to give that man a follow at Top Flight Wages. Appreciate everyone tuning in. We'll be back next week. Best of luck in all your bets, and we'll talk soon, my friend.
See you guys.